Heathcliff, what are you doing, buddy? Come on. Come, Rose. Come, Rose.
Okay, so my name's Mark Habban. I'm Zoological Manager at ZSL London Zoo, and you're joining us today for our annual weigh-in, and that is the point in the year where we weigh all of our animals, and that takes place over a series of weeks. And what you're looking at, hopefully in front of you at the moment, is one of our senior keepers, Susie, and we're starting off the weighing with our Humboldt penguins. And she's got two of the youngsters on the scales at the moment. Well, she's got one of them about to jump on the scales and the other one looking like he wants to peck at the digital reader next to him. So really important day for us, really busy day, but it's also a lot of fun, and it's a point in time at which we have the opportunity to weigh the animals and evaluate everything really in terms of nutrition, in terms of their development, and record all of that information, and we share that on a digital database called ZIMS. That information is logged and it's then accessible for other zoos to access that information and really compare the data, and we can do the same with them as well. So if we've got Humboldt penguins, we've got one here looking like he wants to jump on the scales. He did so earlier. I think he came in at about 3.5 kilograms. So we could then compare that to Humboldt penguins of the same age in other collections, and it's just great opportunity for comparative data. At this point in time, we're also able to weigh a lot of our baby animals. We've had a very successful breeding season here at London. We've got young squirrel monkeys, for example, and we can just keep a good eye on their weight and make sure that they're developing and on track as we'd expect them to be. If anyone did have any questions, then you do have the opportunity to text in, and we're happy to answer any questions you might have on the weigh-in today. So it's a really busy day. If there's anything specific that anyone wanted to ask, then please feel free and we'll answer your questions as best as we can.
Come on.
Always difficult weighing penguins because they're such an inquisitive species, and you can see they're not quite playing ball today, and they're more interested in what's going on with the equipment around them. It's always one of the big challenges. You've got one of the adults and you can see the difference in...
Come on.
Show us how to do it. There you go.
Come on.
Textbook.
Good.
Absolutely. So one of the adults came on, showing the youngsters how to do it. So we get them to step on. It's always positive. We don't want to pick animals up and plonk them on scales. We want them to step on voluntarily, and then you can see, as we did there, give them a reward of fish in this case. How much does that one weigh, Susie?
3.9k.
3.9 kilograms. So fairly average weight for an adult Humboldt penguin. They do go up to about 4.5 kilos. These are some of the easier species to weigh because this is something we do fairly regularly with Humboldt penguins, but some of the bigger challenges come in when you've got something like squirrel monkeys, where we've got lots of them and they're all fighting to try and get in at the same time. So we're trying to weigh multiple animals all at the same time, snatching each other's food, and that becomes a real challenge. But hopefully, might have some questions coming now. What have we got? Got a great one from Barbara. Thank you, Barbara. Never eat before you weigh. Well, we're kind of doing it at the same time, but it's very good advice. And getting lots of comments coming from all around over the world, from Nepal, Sweden and Florida as well. So we're reaching a really large audience with this one, which is really good. It's an interesting day, really exciting. I think we've got lions next, which is always one of the bigger challenges to weigh. A lot of the penguins, as you can see, this time of day, they're really intent on just spending a lot of time in the water. So that's a good question. We've had one from Monica. How much does a penguin weigh when they hatch out of their eggs?
Approximately between sort of 70 and 90 grams.
Between 70 and 90 grams. That's a really good question. We've had one come in from Shabam. What is generally the weight of a healthy penguin? Depending on the species, these Humboldt penguins that we got here, adults, we'd expect anything between 3.5 kilos up to 5 kilos for a healthy adult. Janky, who would like to get weighed in a live feed? Well, I don't know that I'd want to, but we're going to leave this one for the animals within the collection today.
No comment.
So, great comment, but this one's for penguins, I think, and we're going to keep off the scales today. Monica has asked, did they remove their shoes first? Don't need to do that with penguins, thankfully. Got huge slippers, and you can see we're going to try and get another one up on the scales in a minute.
Come on, Heathcliff. Buffy.
The youngsters really aren't playing ball, so these are this year's birds, more intent on what's going on around them, inquisitive about the gloves. How much food do they eat every day? That's a good question as well. It depends very much on each individual. Some of them eat an awful lot more than others, but they'll be going between 8 and 14 fish each a day.
About that, yep. Heathcliff.
How many penguins do we have from Monica? How many do we have in our care?
We have around, about 80.
80 penguins. So it's been a successful breeding season for the penguins here this year at London Zoo. And we had 70 adults, so about 35 pairs, and we've got 10 chicks that are all coming through really well. How do you know which ones you've weighed? That's coming from Amy. So when we're actually doing the weighing, once we've weighed a penguin, really good question, we take their microchip number, so we use a microchip reader to do that, and then we actually record, we write that down, we record them. How old are the penguins? Good question. We've got a range of ages. The youngest ones range from just a few weeks old. How old are our older ones, Susie?
Our oldest one is Jeff, and he's 27.
Jeff is our oldest one, and he's 27 years old. Brilliant. Another question just coming from Will. How long can a penguin hold their breath underwater?
It's around sort of 7-8 minutes.
7 to 8 minutes. That's quite a long time. Wow. That's a good question.
Come on.
Cyprian, what is the penguin average life expectancy captivity versus the wild? In captivity, they generally live considerably longer, and that's true of many species. They don't have the same threats, they don't have the same competition for food. So on average, like many birds, I would guess you could be looking about 10 to 12 years. I couldn't actually give you an exact life expectancy of a whole Humboldt penguin, but generally in captivity they live a lot longer. We've had them for over 35 years here, so it'd be very, very unlikely that one would ever live that long in the wild. Sean, does it smell in here? Penguins are quite smelly eaters. They eat a lot of fish. They defecate all around the enclosure. So you can certainly smell them, but with big open enclosure, huge filtration systems. This is a massive pool of water as well. It's the largest penguin pool in England, so it's constantly turning over. So it doesn't smell like you'd expect it to. Thank you, Miranda. What are their names? I'm not going to name all 80 of our penguins. What are those two over there?
Right, we have Heathcliff.
Heathcliff.
Primrose.
Primrose.
And Lily.
And Lily, who is hiding behind Susie, trying to poke her head over her shoulder. Elizabeth, what's their favourite food? Undoubtedly fish. We give them a range of different fish species, freshwater and saltwater fish. So fish, absolutely their favourite food of a number of different species. How do we tell the penguins apart? That's very difficult, but each of the penguins has a unique band on it, so you can see just around their wings they've got bands on them. They've also got microchips as well. They're individually microchipped, so when we're having to identify them individually, we'll just run a microchip across them and then we record that data. So I hope that answers quite a few of the questions. You can see a bit of excitement going on as well. So this time in the morning, lots of food's been put in the water already, so they're just porpoising there. You can see them jumping out, and it's just a great bit of exercise for them, and it's really nice to see them have the space to be able to do that.
Lily?
Still not been able to get these two onto the scales. But I think it's been a pretty successful morning. Really grateful for everyone who's joined us today for our Facebook Live here at ZSL London Zoo for our annual weigh-in. So thank you very much. Hope you've enjoyed it as much as we're enjoying it today, and we hope to see you here at ZSL London Zoo very soon.